Time now for the Dude and Dork of the Week. As for the dude, there can be only one choice this week. And fans reveled in his promotion to the major leagues and then in his 2 hits on Saturday. And I'm talking about the one and only Drew Maggi. Now, Drew Maggi, you know his story by now if you're a fan following the game. He's with the Pirates. He spent 13 years in the minor leagues, played more than 1,100 games in the minor leagues, had almost 5,000 plate appearances in the minor leagues. He had 1 major league call-up with the Twins, never got to play. So remember, this guy had never played in a major league game, gets called up by the Pirates at 33 years old, and finally gets into a game on Saturday. And it was so interesting. He already had been optioned. The only reason he was still with the Pirates was that they named him the 27th man for the doubleheader. Remember, you can add an extra guy to the roster when you play a doubleheader. Drew Maggi was that guy. Doesn't play in the first game. Doesn't start the second game. But the Pirates get out to a 12-0 lead, and here we go. It's Drew Maggi time. He gets a hit in his first at-bat, gets an extra base hit in his second at-bat. The games are in Washington, and yet there are a good number of Pirates fans there, which is great to see in its own right. That fan base starting to travel, getting excited again. They're chanting his name as he's doing his post-game interview. It was just a great moment. And if you caught him on foul territory last week, I suggest you go back to see that interview if you haven't already. His story is just amazing. And he said that his agent told him to retire 8 years ago. He said that there were times when he had to effectively pay to play, right? He wasn't making enough money to get by, and he was losing money by playing in the minors. Now, not every player can do this, obviously. This is how a lot of players get filtered out, but for whatever reason, Maggi was able to hang in there, able to keep going, and at age 33, he got his moment. Such an easy choice this week. Drew Maggi, Dude of the Week. All right, Dork of the Week. Well, this one to me is obvious as well, and it's whoever edited out of the highlights of the Oakland game on Friday night the signs that were essentially critical of the A's proposed move to Las Vegas. This was a silly act that brought more attention to the issue than it would have gotten otherwise. Now, if you are paying attention to this and if you saw what happened, you saw the signs, and there were some pretty pointed ones to say the least. Several of them said sell, meaning John Fisher, the owner, should sell. 2 of them said Fisher out, meaning John Fisher should get out. There was one directed at the club president, Dave Kaval, basically calling him a liar. And there was another one that simply said stay. Now, these are fans engaging in their rights to free speech, and it's allowed at the Oakland ballpark. To their credit, they don't force people to take these signs down. But when the highlights of the game came out, when the home run by Ryan Noda was shown, it went out to right field where the signs were hanging. When the highlights initially came out, you could not see the signs. Miraculously, digitally, they were gone. Obviously, this caused some stir on social media. Someone noticed. Someone always notices this kind of thing, right? So, the Dork of the Week goes to the people who edited these signs out. And I can assure you, it wasn't one person just making this decision. It was a directive, because that's how this kind of thing works. I worked at the MLB Network. I get it. I know. Major League Baseball issued a statement saying we were unaware of the edit. When it came to our attention, we corrected it as it isn't consistent with our policy. Actually, Major League Baseball was caught. Then they had to issue this statement. It sort of is their policy, and now they have to change their policy, or at least not do this kind of thing again, because people will notice and people will see that it's ridiculous. So, Dork of the Week goes to whoever was involved in this initially. You shouldn't have done it, and I trust that you won't be doing it again, because now the secret is out. So, Dork of the Week, it's some random people. We don't know who their names are, but whoever made those decisions initially, and Major League Baseball for basically creating an environment in which this type of decision could be made, you're all Dorks of the Week.